So if you've ever heard of the CRUD acronym before, it stands for Create, Read, Update, and Delete. And we've pretty much done all of that already. We have the ability to create a fish. We have the ability to read a fish. We're reading it into here. We have the ability to update a fish by typing into here, but we don't have the ability to delete any of our items. So in this video, we're going to go over deleting items from our inventory as well as deleting items from our order. So let's go ahead and open up app.js because that's where our deleting is going to happen. And let's start with the actual creating a delete fish function. So right below update fish, we'll say delete fish. And that is going to take a key for which fish we would like to delete. And from there, it's pretty simple in what we're going to do. So first thing we're going to do is then you're going to get really good at this whole updating state. So take a copy of state. So it's like const fishes is equal to ... this dot state dot fishes. Then we are going to update the state. And in our case here, we are going to remove an item from state. So if this was an array, all I would do is I would just filter. I would do something like this. It'd do it in one go. I would just say like this dot state dot fishes dot filter, and then just return the new the amount of fishes that I want. But because it's an object, we first take a copy of it, and then we are going to set the fish that we don't want to null. And initially I thought like, okay, we just could delete like fishes.fish1. However, there's a little bit of a weird thing with Firebase where if you want Firebase to also remove it, you have to set it to null. So what we're going to do is we're going to say fishes square bracket key. So it's like kind of like fishes.fish1, fishes.fish2 is equal to null. And then 3, we're just going to update state. So this dot set state fishes. It's kind of interesting that it's almost exactly the same as our update fish, except that in this case, we are just setting it to null rather than updating and overwriting a fish. So that's good. Let's actually try to manually do it. We'll go into our React DevTools. We'll find app, and we will use the $R. So $R dot delete fish. There it is. And let's just try delete fish1. Boom, removed it. Let's try delete, what is it, fish2. So let's try delete fish2. Boom, actually takes it, removes it from the order entirely, which is great. And now we need to hook that up to a button. So we're going to go to our edit fish form, and we're going to go all the way to the bottom and just add a button here that says remove fish. Good. And now we need to somehow get that delete fish function to downstream to the edit fish form. It's going to work exactly the same as the rest of them did. So this is in our inventory. We have add fish, update fish, and now we have delete fish. And then we're going to go into our inventory and pass it down one more level deeper, delete fish. And then when somebody clicks it, we can go here, we could say on click equals. And now here's where you're like, it's a bit of a different than what we've had so far. Like, do we need to have another function right here that we create that just deletes it, or can we do it in line? And the answer is that we can actually just do an inline function here using an arrow. And we say this dot props dot delete fish, and we'll pass it the key. And the key, where's the key? The key is passed in, I believe, let's look back. We're passing it in as an index. So we'll say this dot props dot index. How does that work? Boom, 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 boom. Remove it. We could load a bunch more. Boom, 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 boom. Deleting it. Really nice. So that's all it is to remove an item from state. Now we actually need to hook up a remove button so that when we have something in our order, we're able to delete it. So I want to challenge you right now, maybe pause the video and try to do this little piece on your own, because it's almost exactly the same as deleting the fish, but we are going to create another method that deletes something from order. So if you feel like you're comfortable enough with this stuff right now, go ahead and pause it and try it yourself. Otherwise, let's go along for the ride. So I'm going to go back to app.js. And right below add to order, we're going to make a remove from order. And that's going to take in a key. And we're simply going to, let's just copy this. It's super simple, very, very much the same. So take a copy of state, either add to order, we change that one. So we'll say remove that item from order. And in this case, we simply say order key is equal to null. Or sorry, actually, that's wrong, because in this case, since we're not mirroring to Firebase, we can use delete, and we can delete the order key. And then finally, we reinstate it back into state. So that's good. Let's add some lobster, which we know is fish 2. And let's try to manually call that ourselves. Go to React, find our app, click on it. Now let's see, $r.remove from order fish 2. Boom. It removed it from order, didn't touch it in any other ones that we have. Good. So we can take this remove from order, pass it down to our order. Remove from order is equal to this dot remove from order. Good. Then we'll go to our order component. We're going to put a button that has, I always like to use the ampersand time, say on click equals, and we can do just a little arrow function here. This dot props dot remove from order and pass the key. Good. Go back here. Now, when you hover over top, you should see these little X buttons, and you click on it. It should remove that specific item from the order, and our order state will then be updated. Great. In the next video, we're going to learn about how we can actually animate these things so that when you add them to your order and when you increment the number and when you remove them from the order, we all get this nice UI interface.